I wanted to go back to the start, and this is my first introduction to this love lab rat. This love lab rat, non-confrontational and often the voice of reason. He is a peacemaker, apparently, with a great moral compass. Charismatic and likeable, he gets on with everyone and has no trouble working himself into a conversation with those around him. All true so far. Spending his weekdays in a corporate finance job. Oh, God. This man is a hipster at heart, looking for a woman he can share his passion for music and adventure. I totally missed that the first time I read it. He considers himself to be easygoing, but has always found modern dating difficult. His style is more traditional. He prefers old-fashioned courtship to dating apps. He's looking for someone who is fun, passionate, and ready to give anything a try. Plus, she must love dogs because he has a best friend called Finn. If that hasn't given away, you shouldn't be watching this channel. The special guest is Jack Millar. Hey, Jack.
Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing on this beautiful evening?
I'm good. I'm so good. And I'm so glad that you've decided to come on the channel. I didn't even have to pressure that much. But actually, you didn't find the channel, which you've seen a couple of times. And I know that a bunch of you were in the chat one night when we were live. But your mum, Mon, found it.
Bless her soul. Monica Dearest. And my little brother, actually. I don't know whether it was my little brother that sent it to my mum or vice versa. But my little brother loves YouTube, like was going off at it. And then he found the channel, told my mum. My mum was just calling me, "You're the magician, you're the magician." That's what you called me first time around.
I actually, as soon as I saw your pictures in the media kit that I got sent for the show, as soon as I saw your pictures, I went to find glasses that that I could wear that looked, this is as close as I could get. Yours are obviously very high end, but this is as close as I could get. It's because let's talk about that photo. That was the original photo that was sent out. It doesn't really look like you. I know it is you, but it just doesn't really look like you.
I noticed that as well. And when we did that, it was based off we did this big day of, photo shoots, publicity.
Yep.
I'm doing these angles. Like it was all over the place, And I guess they just pick and choose what they want. And they chose the cheeky photo that looks sort of like me doing the Barney Stinson tie thing.
Yeah, tie, yeah. So you knew for a long time what suit you were going to wear? Or was it all like a real, it was that photo was taken, then the wedding, and then it all rolled?
No. So the publicity stuff was done much later.
Right, okay.
We were already into filming once we started taking those photos, and then I re-wore the suit for those photos. Yeah.
Excellent. But it just doesn't feel like you. It felt like a shit magician. And I just was like, who is this dickhead? And it said that you're in corporate finance. So question, are you still in corporate finance?
I am. I'm still doing the 9 to 5, financial planning, actually.
Right,
okay. So I'm doing it. I'm running with it. It's.
Are you stoked by it? Because it doesn't sound like it.
And look, don't get me wrong. I do love what I do. But I've been introduced to this whole new world now as well. Yeah. And it's like, do I like this world? Do I like the drama? No, I don't. But
not the drama. Maybe the world a little bit, but the drama, no.
Ooh, ouch. But yeah, so, and it is, and it's still going to be my 9 to 5, and I don't really plan on moving away from it at all. But, I think moving with the stuff that's coming in from the show and whatever that looks like, I never say no to anything. God, I got married at first sight. I obviously don't say no, so.
Clearly, and I really want to talk about that, Jack. This is not me blowing smoke up your ass. I've probably done that enough during the season. But you seem like a nice guy. You seem solid. You're very attractive. You have a job / career that maybe you're ready to dump. Why did you go on this show, which is notorious for breaking people?
I'll open with this. I want to say that I don't regret going on the show at all. I did it. I had fun with it, and I had an experience that I'll remember for the rest of my life, let alone all the people I met on the way.
Yeah.
But as to how I got on, the things pop up on Facebook and Instagram and stuff saying, like, apply for Married at First Sight, right? And a few of my friends tagged me in it. Now, I've never watched the show. I've definitely seen snippets of it. My roommate's ex-girlfriend or something, they used to watch it habitually. And I would almost like segregate myself from the room and go watch. I had a TV in my room and I'd go watch another show. But no, so I got the premise of it. You know, I knew that there was the state leave,
Yep.
and I knew that there was the dinner parties, and I knew that you got married, and that's all I knew. So I was like, all right. I mean, in terms of relationships, like, God, the only common fact, you know, a few things aren't working out for me. The only common fact is me in that sort of trail over the last 3-4 years of dating. So I was like, why not give something else a crack?
Like in previous relationships that you may have had, did you feel like you needed like actual expert advice on what you were doing wrong?
Yeah, I don't think I ever sat down and said, "Oh my God, get me a counselor." But
now
I definitely now though. But no, I definitely thought that. Look, for me, any experience is going to teach me about other people and myself.
Yep.
Let alone being put in this environment where other people are observing me and my relationship and the way I interact with other people. So of course I'm going to get insight from all of these people about me as a person, and then also hopefully learn so much about myself along the way. And you know what? Maybe I'll meet someone that I absolutely love and adore. So it was a bit of a no-brainer once I did get the offer to, you know, jump on the show. I was like, mind you, I say no-brainer. It took me a good 2 days to come around. My mum was a bit apprehensive. She was like, oh, like, you know, this is very public. What do you reckon? But then honestly, my friends why did I ask them? My friends that tagged me in the post, I was like, guys, like, these guys are calling me. I think I'm on. And they're just like, you're perfect. Do it. Go, go, go.
Well, I think your friends must have known that you're not a piece of shit. So they
well, I hope they know that. or they were
it's not what they're saying to me.
Hoping I'll just make a fool of myself.
Yeah, maybe it's like those people who say to Idol contestants, "You can really sing," and then they go on the show and they cannot sing. So they must have known that you weren't going to come off so bad. So it's pretty safe. And we'll talk about who you were paired with, obviously, and also the edit in a second. But you didn't know the levels of how complicated this whole machine is before you went into it. Like no one had said to you, hey, I've done this before. Maybe you should do it.
No. I don't know anyone on reality TV. The only person that I know that went on, sort of the guy that used to make my coffee down at North Beach, which is Taku, that just went on Love Island.
Yep.
So I do know of him, and I've met him once or twice, but that's probably the closest I've got to knowing someone that's been on TV.
He's another ridiculously nice guy. He is ridiculously nice.
Oh, he's a legend. I'll tell you what it is. It's Wollongong.
Oh, people from the Gong.
Wollongong breeds them.
That's true. I've got some friends from the Gong, and they're very nice people. Well, there you go. Northern Beaches, though, I don't. You've been a part of, like, iconic Mafs moments. And I don't know if you realise, like, these will be talked about between like Mafs fans for the rest of days. Moody and shit will now be a clip that will exist forever because of the phenomenal chat that was you and I think it was Jackson and Al talking about like a big issue, an issue that probably needed to be brought up.
I've never slept with someone on their period before.
So she wanted to have sex on her period.
Which is fine.
Tried.
Well, no. I stopped trying because I wanted to take a step back. I was like, okay, she's on a period. I'll give her a space.
Yeah, of course, they get moody and shit.
Were you thinking, holy shit, this is going to be on the telly?
You know what? When I saw that chat, I'd actually totally forgot that we had it.
It's always the little things that become the big things.
Yeah, and I totally forgot what Al said. And I remember the chat was a lot broader than about the whole menstrual sex thing, right?
Like everything that you do on the show would have been a lot more broader than just the bits that they pick, obviously.
Yeah, you know, like it was a good 45-minute chat or something like that, whatever. And they choose the juicy 40 seconds. But I just remember clear as day, and this is actually what happened. When I brought it up, and I kind of had a smile on my face because I looked over at Al and I just watched his grin slowly get wider and wider. And you can't not laugh when he's smiling. And then I look at Jackson, and Jackson was just kind of like, oh, and then he was serious, but like had a little bit of a grin. I think they might have cut that part out. And then Al just going, oh yeah, because they're moody and shit. I was like, mate, no, that's not what we're talking about.
I can't tell if Al's a genius or an idiot savant. Like I don't know. Like he's just, you can't put him in a box because sometimes he says stuff and you go, wow, that's really quite profound. And then other times he says things and you go, what the are you talking about?
No, honestly, Al is Al. He is the most unique character, the most unique human being I've ever met in my life. Some of the things that come out of his mouth just on a whim, like the reunion episode on Sunday where he just stands up and burps.
Yeah. That was excellent.
It was great, but I wouldn't in a million years think to do that. But
no.
I don't think he has that like buffer. No. He doesn't have the buffer in between what's coming out and what's happening in here. And it just explodes, and it's 99% of the time absolute gold.
And I think the winning thing is that he doesn't have malice by the looks of it. Like he's not. It's not like he's coming from a bad place. Whatever he does.
No. Genuinely, Al is a very, very genuine person. He's straight up just like a fun guy. He wants to get along with everyone first and foremost. He's such a loving person. Like, and then he's just a larrikin, right? And that's just him. And everything that he says and does, and the way he says it, is funny.
Are his sisters single?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Because they are some of the most stunning creatures I think I've ever seen in the world. Have you seen his family? They're beautiful.
Yeah, I've been over his house heaps. I know. His whole family is just like...
genetically blessed.
What genes... Yeah, 100%. He's a good-looking dude. Then his two sisters walk out. He's got a little brother as well, but he's much smaller. Or his little sisters, but Leah, she's absolutely gorgeous, and she's lovely as well. Not as outlandish as Al, but she's so nice. I don't think anyone's as outlandish as Al.
No, but, I don't think anyone ever will be. And you hear a lot of rumors about Al being on other shows, and I hope that's true for the sake of my channel.
Me too.
Because you could just press record and let him go. Just let him go.
I know. You don't need to do anything for Al. You literally just need to put a couple of people around having some sort of conversation and then just plonk him in.
There he goes.
And something will happen. Doesn't matter what that something is, but it'll be comedic gold.
So it sounds like we have the right idea about Al. Out of the whole season, who do we have the wrong idea about? Like, is there someone that you're like, no, that's just not who they are. We didn't see the real them.
I'm sure I could say that in portions for actually every single person that was on that show. A lot of the Holly stuff was cut out. She's a really nice person. And, actually, I know the answer to this question.
Good.
I mean this in a really earnest way, actually. Kate's lovely.
Yeah,
Kate is really lovely.
I got some friends of her or people that had worked with her and know her or clients of hers had reached out a few different times to say, she's not like this. Like, this is not her. She's not ums and ahs and just bad faces.
I think the way it came across as well, that she was exceptionally uncomfortable, not only with the production side of things, but also Matt as well at times. She was a bit uncomfortable around him, and she never really felt, there's so much more to that wedding, by the way. I was at that wedding. Matt's just like really funny, but he would, he'd do that a lot. And I don't know if they really saw it. And he always sits, and when he's listening, he's like,
And he does this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, these little, and look, Matt's classic. Like, I was with him the other weekend. He's a funny guy. He's a liability. Don't get me wrong. Absolute liability. But never clicked off, and it was an easier way for them to... I can see how they made it look that way. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Because at times, I can see how they made it out as if she wasn't trying or she wasn't, giving the relationship a go and stuff like that. Because she was quite standoffish with Matt.
Yeah.
I think they slept in a bed and they had pillows in between them or something. I can't remember if they showed that on the show, but there was that big sort of thing. And that was a big moment. And one of the funniest ones was on the retreat when they get in the spa. And I think Matt gets out of the spa and slaps her on the butt or something. Yeah, and then Matt falls back into the spa. And then she says something along the lines of like, don't ever do that to me again. It was just like so off the cuff. But the whole scene itself is, and I don't know whether it was the music they put behind it, because every time Matt walks into the room, it's always like, bum,
Yeah.
Bom, 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 bom.
Yeah,
And it's just like really every single time. And it just, that whole scene got me. I was in stitches for hours. Like, seriously.
The music can change the mood a lot with shows like this.
100%.
Which I think people don't realize. So when you're in there, does it feel like real life? Do you start to feel like, oh, this is my reality now? This is what we do, because there's like separate times that you have to do certain shoots and certain times when you go and do Voxies, and it's like very structured around your life. So does it start to feel normal? Like, can you be yourself?
I think the best way to put it, it's the most chaotic structured environment ever.
Right.
So although it's, as you said, like completely structured, like you've got schedules, you've got times, although the times blur a bit. There's a fair bit of waiting around, to be honest. But it probably took me 3 to 4 weeks, I think, before I really it does. It's a full adjustment. You know what? It's a crucible by fire. The wedding day is the biggest one, probably the biggest day of shooting we did to date.
Wow.
So, I remember the first camera crew rocked up around 6 a.m. and we didn't finish up till probably 10:30 at night. A lot of you wouldn't have seen, but you got to remember as well is like, we're getting filmed, because I work in finance and stuff, I decided to do some maths. And we're each getting filmed it's what I do. We're each getting filmed like 5-6 hours a day, right?
Wow.
And then at some point you've got, maybe some of that's weight. So they've got probably like 4 hours of footage of each couple each day.
Yep.
Yeah. So, that's 40 hours a day if there's just 10 couples. Obviously it varies, but whatever. And then all of a sudden you've got to fit in that one day, and probably more than one day, to be honest, because we're filming 5 days a week. It is 4, blah, 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 into 53 minutes, not including ads, or 50 something minutes.
Yeah.
Like, the amount that they have to chop and the amount to get their storylines right is exponential, and the amount of filming that we do is, and I know we sort of like blurred from the question what was before, but the amount of filming that you do to get the content that they need and to create their storyline, like it's quite overwhelming. And when you come into that from very early on, from having never looked in a camera for more than 3 seconds when mum decides to take a selfie, you're thrown in the deep end, and it's an adjustment period, 100%.
This is what Start Rehashed, in case you wanted to know. I knew Bryce. I worked with Bryce, and I knew he was going on Mafs. And I thought, this is it. This is I know someone. I knew what he was like in real life, and then I wanted to see how that translated. So I wanted to go, okay, will it be how I think it's going to be?
And was it?
Yep. Yeah, it was basically the person that I saw was like, yeah, that's what I know.
Yeah.
And I love the human behavior. So edits aside, there's bits in the show that you go, well, I can get a sense of a person just by ways they say things and things that come directly out of their mouth. But my favorite thing to watch is knowing that the show is completely done. You guys have just ran a marathon. You've done this marathon, like emotional, draining thing that's so weird.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's about to air, and you guys have got to A, keep everything under wraps. B, you have to pretend to either be together or not be together or in this weird limbo. And then C, you have to pretend to not dislike people that you might really dislike. And
there's a lot on it. When you put it that way, I realise
that's
the backpack I've been carrying for the past month.
Yeah, before we started chatting, you were like, whoa, I'm a bit scared that it's over, but also really happy that it's over. You and Dom had at the very base a good friendship. So you guys at least can look at the other person and go, I really respect that person, which isn't always the case. But imagine if you're Tamara and Brent knowing everything that's gone down, and you've got a feature on the Today Show and just lock it all up.
I know. I know they, I can't remember when it was. It was after a few weeks they stopped doing stuff together.
Yes, after Brent didn't turn up to one of them.
I think that was the first day. I remember that. That was his first, second or third big publicity day. Anyway, no, I remember it was, they did a little bit together, and I think they had a little bit of look, let's just be civil, and then something else happened, and then they weren't. They just were they just can't. They can't sit in the room.
They're just not people that were ever going to go. They just irk each other. That just happens in real life.
Oh, I'll tell you what it is. I've learnt this the other day. It's called VIC. You ever heard of this ick?
Oh, I've heard about the ick.
Yeah, I found out like a week ago.
Yes, people
They've
do
got
give each
the
other
ick.
the ick.
Yeah, they've got it. That's what they've got.
They've got it hard for each other. Like they both have the
yeah.
ick for each other.
It's just a bit toxic. So look, at the end of the day, they stopped doing media together. And I could have imagined that was hard, you know. And I think there is a lot on your shoulders coming through and sort of reflecting now on the airing time. You know, there's so much you can do and so much you want to do, and where do you actually want to sit? What do you see as next? Okay, so long story short, you are consistently thinking about what's coming next on TV. What am I allowed to talk about up until this point?
Yes.
Then what has actually happened and the actual emotional baggage you have from all the filming itself. And then also thinking, seriously, it's
a lot.
I know. I'll pick up my backpack after this conversation. The last bit is also what comes next after airing, you know, and a lot of people start to think about that and start to go, because you have to at some point start to think, well, all right, I've just done this massive thing. I don't know what I'm doing now, which is kind of where I'm at right now, FYI. But you know, you need to have those thought processes, and it is a lot. And then also, there's normal people that are working a full-time job. They've also got their dogs to take care of. Some of the other contestants have kids. Like, there's a lot to it, and when you compartmentalize all into one thing, you end up with a little bit of it can be quite overwhelming.
You wouldn't know what's going to make the edit, and you had stuff, and I heard on the grapevine that there was a lot more out of like that final supper that came out that was maybe sharing more about your life with Dom probably than anyone should hear, even more than what we saw on the telly. When that stuff happens and you're like, hey, I'm a person. Hey.
That sucked. That sucked.
This is who you are. These are things about yourself. Like, it's got to be so confronting.
I'm not an actor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know what? You're fully right. That bloody Last Supper, shit. I remember, and a lot of, apart from everything that was said about me, which sucks, you know, 1-2 pump done. Like, that was the whole.
But like I said in my video, listen, if anybody says that they haven't been there, that's bullshit.
You want the context? It was the COVID lockdown. I had not had sex in 4 months with anyone, and you could look at me the right way and I'm finished.
Yes!
I had nothing to give. So what happened there was we had a bit of a gathering with the cast to, I don't know, it was week 2 or 3 in terms of Mafs timeline, but for us it was about a month and a bit.
Right.
And the COVID restrictions back then were quite intense.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the articles about it, you know, very rightfully so. You know, one of us get COVID, show's done.
Yeah.
So we had to, you know, sort of mitigate that. And mentally that was a big toll as well, because you've just moved in with a stranger. You are spending 23 hours a day in a room together.
Yeah.
We did have breakout rooms. Don't get me wrong. The 9 always treated us very well. Endemol Show 9. They treated us phenomenally. They've got all the support you need, but there's a level of sort of emotional drain that you'll just naturally get when you are between 4 walls for 23 hours a day.
Yeah.
So, especially for me, I'm an outdoorsy person. I missed the beach. I remember we got this beach day, which was the best thing ever. Like after like week 5 or something, me and Dom went down. But, you know, before that, it really is, you know, a mental game. And we all went to this event. Not an event, one of the rooms, I think it was in my room. All the cast got together, we started having drinks, and I think the girls and the guys split up for a little bit because, you know, people just wanted to chat. Didn't really matter. We're all just having fun. And I guess everyone started talking about their husbands, how you doing, what's going on. Naturally, like, we did make a pact at the start of the night, like, don't talk storyline, but, you know, you throw 2 Negronis in there and then out the other door. So
2? I'd be going to 1 Negroni. Shit.
Mate, I learned how to make the best Negronis at a Friday night in Sky Suites. Dom,
this is the best at Sky Suites has ever had.
Can't do much in there, but you can drink a Negroni. I remember that happened. I guess some tea was spilled between the girls, whatever. But the thing is that was week. We'd only met the other people. We'd only had one dinner party or two, and you don't talk to people that much in between. So we'd only met each other a few times. It was still a meet and greet for all intensive purposes, apart from your partner you'd had for a little bit longer. And the Last Supper was probably 2 months after. Probably a good 2 months.
Why do you think it's hard for people to see the difference between a photo being shared? And I don't want to go down this whole photo shit. I'm so bored of this photo shit.
I won't, yeah, but I'll talk about it. But I'll give you my thoughts.
What's why do you think it's so hard for some people, and even some people on the experiment, to see the difference between the photo getting shared and talked about, and then people having a conversation like Dom saying, hey, this is this guy that I just met and I've known for as long as you've known the guys that you've met. Why do you think it's so hard for people to know the difference between those two things? Because what we saw was that they were being put together as two pillars, like, well, if we did this, that's the same as this.
Yeah, and it was kind of like used as ammo to kind of back it back up and, that sort of thing. And look, at the end of the day, that's what that relationship was between Dom and Olivia. There was a lot of that back and forth towards the end, and everyone's seen it. You've seen the cruxes of it.
And you copped it.
But I guess I bloody copped it. I was really collateral damage with that, right? But look, at the end of the day, with the photo thing, the real important issue that I think. And you know what? Forget what happened on the show.
Yep.
Let's talk about people that have photos, explicit photos, whatever you want to call it. Let's call them personal photos. Could be a photo of your bloody foot. It doesn't matter. Personal photos of yourself on a phone, on the internet, whatever. It's on someone's phone. It is not okay to spread that around.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it's on the internet. Like, have you seen what isn't on the internet these days? Like, remember when there was the big iCloud leak for all the celebrities a few years back?
Oh, yeah, that was huge.
Same sort of deal. That was massive. And there was all these, and it was, people were shocked, people were offended. No, I'm sure those photos are still out there to this day. Like, once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
And the problem is, and with Dom especially, like, it's in that situation, it wasn't the fact that it was a photo that she told me week one. Like, there's a photo out there of this, or, I used to do this. Cool, whatever.
My body, my choice, bitch.
This is the thing, right? With that statement, it's very much around the people can do what they want with what they have or whatever, and it should be their choice with no judgment involved. Obviously, naturally, talking about Married at First Sight, there's going to be judgment involved.
Yeah.
Like, talking about any reality TV show, you've got an audience who are doing nothing but judging your every action.
Absolutely.
In a positive or negative way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. This is your job. This is actually what you do.
That's it. And I'm the worst at it.
Yeah. The problem was, and this is what got me, is that everyone knew, bar me, Dom, Mitch and Ella. Now, Mitch and Ella we were quite close with for the whole tail end of the experiment. We were hanging out. We were to the point where, they probably didn't really show them towards the last commitment ceremonies. But you have those chats before the commitment ceremony.
Yeah. Yep.
I know Dom was always with Ella towards the end because she just didn't feel comfortable with some of the other people because there was just so much going on. You want to cling to the friendship that you've built. And the fact that they didn't know and that all these people knew and everyone had been talking about it in one way or another is what really got me. And I snipped. Like, I remember as well, one of the things that really pissed me off was people were kind of digging their own graves because they were going, it was kind of like this. And then a little bit more information would come out from another sentence. And I'd hear it over there. And they're all in a room now. And then a little bit more information came from someone else. And I was like, all right, can I just get the whole story? And it never really happened. And I still, I don't know. Me and Dom, Ella, I don't know, Ella knows, but I don't think so. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened there. And there's a big difference between that and sharing something. I don't care about the intent behind it. Like, whatever. It doesn't actually matter.
Yep.
What matters is the action is wrong. And that was the point that I was trying to make.
It's really hard to see someone not ever just seemingly get it. Like, just even go, I understand what you're saying, And I understand why that was wrong, and the apology on top of that would be really lovely. But to not even understand, and I think that's why people get so angry about it.
And people are fired up. It's to this day still one of the largest talking points in Married at First Sight history, because it's so frustrating when someone, especially in that situation, multiple people weren't really getting that. It was just like, okay, you don't have to be sorry for what you did, or you don't have to whatever, but like understand that this action has hurt someone.
Yeah.
This is pain to someone. I saw it in her eyes, and there was so much more to the emotions there that you guys will ever see.
Now, the big question is, I mentioned it on the video at the time. I didn't know that you're an acoustic guitar guy. I don't know why this didn't make the narrative. This is my biggest thing with you. It's a huge issue. And I needed to know if you're an acoustic guitar guy who just loves music, playing acoustic guitar, maybe do it in a band, or are you the kind of acoustic guitar guy who writes a song for someone or brings it out at like a party and just says, hey guys, I wrote this this morning. Do you guys want to listen to it? Which guitar guy are you?
I'm probably somewhere in between. I think I don't think writing a song, I don't think I've ever written a song for anyone. But I do like playing for people. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not that good. I'll point that out. I am not phenomenal at playing guitar.
Well, that's a true guitar guy.
First one to admit it. But no, genuinely, I used it a lot during the show and stuff. It was actually in the room the whole time at the show. And I'd just sit around. Dom would love it. We would just sit there playing music and having fun with it. I'm the kind of guy that just like, if you're having a sit down, relaxing wine on a Friday night, with your partner, with your friends, whatever, bust it out, show everyone how crap you are and see what happens. And that is not a euphemism for my penis.
Well, we'll see. I don't know how I'll see, but unless something makes it on the internet. I did try and get your mum, Mon. I did message her immediately.
Of course you did.
And of course I did. I'm such a good, not even a journalist. And I said to Mon, I'm going to talk to your son. I need dirt on your no good son, I said.
Yeah, good.
And she said she has nothing to tell. She loves her boys. That's it. Nothing
That's
to
all
tell.
she gave you.
If that was my mum, she would fully push me right under the bus with every awful story of every awful thing I've ever done.
I'll tell you what, bless Monica. She is the kindest soul in the world. Sure, she's got a little bit buried in there, but maybe she was put on the spot. So maybe we'll have to as you'd say, rehash this at another time. But,
absolutely. Well, thank you for branding purposes for saying the title of this show.
Don't get me wrong, she'll talk about me all day long, but she really does have, much to her credit, being the lovely person she is. She has so much good to say about me.
Yeah.
She probably just buries and throws out the bad, puts it in the trash bin and deletes it. So whether maybe that's more speaking towards her character than it is about me not having any dirt, potentially. But
I think you're gonna pop up. Who knows what opportunities are going to be around the corner? Everyone has to keep, because you and Dom in the show, the narrative has shown us that we've left it up in the air. You guys are great friends, and the quotes I've read today are just like, "We're great friends. We'll see." Do you think that's more risky than like for, at least for media's sake, like closing a door and just between yourselves going, well, it's not closed, but, or are you happy to live as real and transparent as possible?
No, I've never once, and I'll say this from day dot of the show to now, I've never once lied or put on a face or put on anything to media and stuff like that. I'll just say the honest truth, because I honestly don't really care for putting on a show, right?
Yep.
Obviously there's things contractually that we have to do after the show, not say that certain things, but I'm not going to sit and lie to someone, right? So I think coming off the show, me and Dom, we've got this, and this is how I've explained it to everyone. I genuinely don't have a word for this. You can call it best friends, you can call it whatever you will. Like I genuinely still call her and message her every single day.
Yeah.
Like, we've got this really, really tight-knit bond, and you watch, she's got an absolute amazing future ahead of her in some sort of media career or whatever she chooses to do. She's going to the moon, and rightfully so. She went through the absolute crap on the show and is just genuinely an amazing person. She's actually really good value, like she's just great. And in terms of mine and her relationship, it's just like, we've got to this point where maybe it's because so much happened. Whatever. Would it have been different on the outside world? Who knows? Who cares? That's the what ifs. I don't really deal with that. But I know that regardless, she's in my life.
Yep.
And however shape or form that looks now, in the future, I don't know. I said this on the whole, there's Finn going nuts. He wants me to bloody get married with her again.
Clearly.
Yeah, but no, like I don't have the crystal ball as to what happens in the future, because you know what, I'm not going to sit here and plan out my next 10 years. I'll say, yeah, I kind of want to do this. I kind of have a goal to do that. I'm not going to be like in 7 years' time, I'm going to have 3 children with Domenica and it's going to look beautiful. Like, I don't operate like that. So no, the book isn't closed, and it just is what it is. We're at this point where we're really comfortable with each other.
Yep.
I absolutely adore and love the girl, but we're not in a romantic relationship. And I think that's totally fine too.
Like, the people on Friends getting asked about a reunion forever and ever, amen. I'm worried that you guys are going to get asked, are you guys back together? I don't want that to be the rest of your life, Jack.
You know what? We'll let it run for a while and see where we end up.
See until we have to make a... So at the moment, because there's... I once said on the channel, I can't remember the exact words, but it was like, I'm going to marry Jack.
I heard that.
That was the sentiment, and I got a lot of tacky messages about it of people who were lining up for Jack. So I can officially say you are seeing what happens in the real world.
I can officially say that I'm not in a relationship.
There we go.
And whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
How about that?
I think you guys are getting less heat now because, the whole Brent and Ella thing seems to be the whole talk of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good.
Brella. It's called Brella.
Oh, Brella. Sorry, I forgot that it was called Brella. And people are really never going to let that die.
Oh, no, they're invested. People are invested.
Yes. They were invested for a long... Once there was a little sliver of their friends...
Someone wrote a comment somewhere and it's just gone.
That's it. And now they're going to be together forever, whether they want to be or not. I really appreciate you coming on the channel and having a chat, because I know you're probably done talking to people like me. But I really do appreciate
this has been good. Enough of that. I enjoy the channel. I've enjoyed watching it and laughing at myself being called a magician. I actually loved it. I thought it was goddamn hilarious.
Well, good, because sometimes when I say things about Love Lab Rats, it doesn't go down so well. So I'm glad that you can have a laugh and have some fun, considering that you guys have been through a hell of a lot. Before you go, can we see Finn, who does have an Instagram, by the way?
Finn, come here.
Look how cute. Finn. Look, he is he is like, what are you doing?
No, he's not. He loves me.
Thank you so much for joining me. If you ever need anything, message, if you get into a new relationship, give me a scoop or something. You know what I mean?
You just want the tea, don't you?
I just want all the tea, the likes and the clicks, and just make it up. That's the best stuff.
If we're going to make up lies, what could we say? Brent and Ella are engaged.
Brent and Ella are engaged. And maybe you and Al are together now.
Yeah. We're both going on Love Island as heterosexual males, and then coming out the other side with doing a bit of docking. It's going to be great.
And that will be the caption of this video, a bit of docking.
Docking.
Jack, thank you so much.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.